Hi friends, welcome to the Wild Side. I'm Steve Hall. If you're a bird lover, a bird watcher, or simply appreciate that Tennessee's newest state park is designated specifically for birds, then you just might want to list it as a destination on your next itinerary. People come from around the world to see hundreds of birds that simply fly through or decide to make this unique state park their home. But it's not just the birds capturing attention at Seven Islands. It's also home to some very busy beavers.
Under the surface of the French Broad River, circling around Seven Islands Birding Park, beavers are making themselves at home. A chance to see what the nocturnal rodents are up to is why these visitors are here. And it doesn't hurt that the park ranger is willing to dress up like a beaver to educate everyone before today's hike.
Beavers have something called a nictating membrane in their eyes. It's like a third eyelid. They can close that clear eyelid there and still be able to see underwater. So here's Stephanie's nictating membrane. Beavers were actually endangered species and nearly went extinct in the U.S. due to trapping. Once they've passed some laws to help protect the beavers, they have made a comeback. If you feel the fur, you can tell exactly how soft it is and why people would value that.
The visual learning aids, plus the hands-on experience of touching an actual beaver's pelt, is a welcome adventure for kids and parents navigating through a pandemic.
So what I'm going to do, because of our social distancing here, I'm going to set the beaver pelt kind of over here on one of these benches, and I'll also set a little bottle of hand sanitizer over there. So if anybody wants to touch the beaver pelt, then you can come over and feel that before we walk out.
I think that when you can use props and relate those to things that people understand, like swim goggles and a canoe paddle, then I think it kind of helps kids to understand the purpose and the function of those adaptations in the animal too. So, and it just makes it fun. It gives everybody something to laugh at when they see Ranger Stephanie dressed up like a beaver. So.
I never know what to expect when I come to work every day, and it takes a lot to embarrass me, especially being the mom of two little kids. So I had a good time. And if it gets the point across and is something memorable for families, it's even better.
She put on the teeth so that could help it chop down the trees, and when they grew, that when you chop down the trees, they would shorten and then they would grow at once a month.
Like all rodents, their teeth continually grow. And they can grow up to 3 inches a month, which is crazy. If we thought about trying to, our teeth growing 3 inches a month, we would very quickly not be able to eat or talk or do anything. So the beaver's tail is a lot like this paddle here, right? What is a paddle used for?
Going in water!
Going in water and swimming, right?
To propel themselves from one direction to the other. I didn't realize that they could do that with their tail.
The beavers have a very thick coat.
I didn't realize how soft their pelt was. It's so soft and fluffy. We've been here twice this week already, so we come here a lot. And when we found out that they were having a beaver dam hike, we love it because we like to be outdoors and it's just good activity for her.
I did advertise it as a kids program, but I think it's also great for adults because everybody's fascinated by beavers.
And even though the adaptations of beavers are already fascinating, the actual hike is leading along a paved pathway, across an incredible bridge, and down to a huge dam the beavers have built.
So this is the beaver dam, and Stephanie's looking for tracks over here. Let's see what we can find.
What we all find is a conglomeration of tree trunks, limbs, leaves, and debris that far exceeds everyone's expectations.
About the length of a truck, I'd say. It was bigger than I thought it would be.
Can you believe the size of the trees?
I know, I can't believe the size of the trees.
How did they get that there?
A lot of hard work. They drag all the branches into a pile and fill it with mud, and they spend a lot of time on it.
So they make a dam in order to create a small pond or pool of slow-moving water because that is like a preferred habitat for them. We don't know exactly how many beavers we have here. We have seen a mother and father. We presume it's a mating pair and a couple of young beavers. But we're not exactly sure how many we have here. All up and down the French Broad, there could be many families of beavers.
And it takes an entire family to keep construction going. Although the beavers are a native species and no one would ever purposely tear down the dam, it does get damaged and sometimes destroyed.
Well, the river itself can destroy it, especially here at Seven Islands, because our river, the French Broad, is regulated by the flow of coming from the dam, from Douglas Dam, which is upstream. And so when they start to generate the water after floods or even just in high power usage times, the water comes through here a lot more rapidly, and it can cause damage to the Beaver Dam.
I imagine that it might be hard because like you're building something and then like all of a sudden water washes it away. And then you build it up again, and then a little part needs to be fixed, so you fix that, but then this other part needs to be fixed, and they're just constantly working.
The beavers themselves seem to not really be fazed by it. We call them our busy beavers because the damage happens and they get right back to work just building it back, and they don't give up.
Because it's what helps them keep their habitat and helps them stay alive and get the food they need, so it's important to them.
They can be very long-lasting structures. Beavers will use them for many, many years and continue to add to them and fix them as they break.
You know, when you add that slow-moving water, you also are going to attract other animals, like some of the wading birds and things that prefer that slow-moving water. So it helps increase the diversity of wildlife here, too.
Beavers helping birds just makes them all the more welcome here at Seven Islands State Birding Park, for it is the birds that attract the most visitors.
Very much relaxing, especially in this era of COVID-19. It takes my mind off of all of that stress, and we are out here in the nature looking for the birds and other, beautiful nature. So that always is very relaxing.
I call it a bird utopia. We have something for everyone. We have the grasslands, we have the shorelines and the wetlands and the river, but we also have a forested area and we have a woodland habitat. So if you're a bird, you're likely going to be happy somewhere in our park.
I have my binoculars with me and I have my camera with a zoom lens. So basically I just walk around, follow the trails, go to the walking pathways and just try my luck and look for the birds.
Birds you are almost sure to see, but those busy little beavers, well, they work at night. I'm Annette Noel Hall on the Wild Side. Tennessee's Wild Side has been a presentation of the Jackson Foundation, educating viewers about wildlife, natural resources, and opportunities for outdoor adventure, with support from the Tennessee Department of Agriculture, promoting wise uses of Tennessee's agricultural and forest resources to develop economic opportunities and ensure safe and dependable food, fuel, and fiber for all citizens. And from Tennessee State Parks, where you can camp by the riverside, retreat to the mountains, and escape the busyness of life. From Memphis to Kingsport, you'll find the perfect adventure in Tennessee State Parks. Wild Side is produced in association with Rockwater TV.